Trouble comes and my heart burdened be. I am still and wait here in the silence until he comes and sit a while with me. He raised me up so I could stand on my
Welcome to the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards Gala, a celebration of excellence and service. Tonight, we proudly celebrate the achievement of 8 distinguished Caribbean nationals. Award-winning soprano whose voice has taken her from opera to Broadway to jazz and popular songs, Guyanese Alison Cambridge. Famed Haitian artist Jean-Claude Le Gagneur. His dreamlike portraits and still life are well sought after by art collectors and celebrities all over the world. Bahamian businessman who served 2 terms as executive director of the Washington-based Inter-American Development Bank, and he has spent his entire career in service to the Caribbean and Latin America, Mr. Jerry Butler. One of the funniest men to emerge from the Caribbean, the Jamaican king of comedy, Mr. Oliver Samuels. Events management and marketing specialist from St. Kitts and Nevis, Ms. Sherry Herbert. Inventor and electrical engineer whose work you see every time you look at a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop, Trinidadian Dr. Andre Cropper. Developer of computer software, businessman and philanthropist, Guyanese Mr. Tony Harris. And the so-called bad boys of reggae who have taken Jamaica's music all around the world for the past 50 years, Jamaica's Inner Circle Band. Tonight's host is veteran television news broadcaster Maureen Bunyan, with backstage interviews by Melissa Williams, and the announcer, yours truly, Ian Edwards. Stay tuned. The celebration begins right after this short break. Welcome back to the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards Gala. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Maureen Bunyan.
Thank you for being with us tonight on a very, very cold pre-winter evening. I'm glad we have the memories, the thoughts, and of course our love of the warm Caribbean to keep us feeling good. The forecast for the next winter is not good. I understand this winter we're going to have a lot of snow, so you might all be in touch with your relatives on the Bahamas, Jamaica, wherever, and make sure they have room for you during January. I am Maureen Bunyan, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, honorable elected officials who are here with us, friends and family. Welcome to the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards, sponsored by the Institute of Caribbean Studies. It's my great pleasure to be here to celebrate excellence among many of our own and the accomplishments of our honorees of Caribbean heritage. As many of you know, I was born in Aruba, but I am of Guyanese heritage, so I claim 2 countries. And I'm very happy to be here to share in my heritage and to support these wonderful people, our wonderful, wonderful honorees. I am extremely happy about this event because I was one of the first Carah Awards winners. I was just a baby 25 years ago. I've grown up since then, and so has this organization. So to start our evening, I'd like to ask the Carah Vice President, ICS Vice President rather, to give welcoming remarks and to introduce our gala chair, who will also give some remarks. Please welcome Oscar Spencer.
Your Excellencies, Ambassador Riyad Insinali, Ambassador Philip Spencer, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, order, you need to correct, welcome this evening. We'd like to welcome you to the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards, a premier honors event in the Caribbean for the Caribbean diaspora. We are delighted that you have been able to come to celebrate at this time just before Thanksgiving, and to honor those whose work and life demonstrate the spirit of the Caribbean excellence. Many of you would have traveled from far and wide, from New York, from Ohio, Connecticut, Massachusetts, the Bahamas, Jamaica, etc., to join us as we celebrate here this evening. We hope that you will enjoy the evening's proceedings. And now I want to invite you to welcome our gala chair, Mr. Erwin Raphael. Mr. Raphael is the general manager for the Genesis brand in the U.S. market and for Hyundai Motor Company. He is responsible for the strategic direction and management of all Genesis operations in the United States. He is a 25-year veteran of the automotive industry. Born in Dominica, Mr. Raphael grew up in St. Croix. He is a U.S. Army veteran and a new friend of the ICS. Please join me then again in welcoming Mr. Raphael.
Good evening, friends and honored guests. To those of you who have met me earlier, I offer my apologies. To those of you who don't know me as yet, I offer my apologies. We will get to know each other tonight. A warm Caribbean welcome to the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards. I'm delighted to be the chair of this year's ceremony. Believe it or not, this is my first time here at the awards gala, and I have to say that when I was asked to take part in this gala, I didn't hesitate, not one bit. I am here because I personally believe in the vision of ICS and the Caribbean American Heritage Awards. And I can see, and I have already found out, that I am in good company. As the executive director of Genesis Motor America, I can tell you that we spent time thinking of our heart and soul, our DNA. And we believe in being audacious, in being progressive, in being who we are, and acknowledging and recognizing others as they are, and allow them to be who they are. And if that is not authentically Caribbean, I don't know what is, because that is who we are as Caribbean people. We are audacious. When you think of the small countries we come from and what we've been able to accomplish throughout the United States and the world, we are progressively minded and we love being ourselves. If you, like me, are a first-time guest tonight, I know you'll find this evening one to remember. If, as I've learned many of you are, repeat guests, I thank you for your continued support of ICS, and I certainly look forward to spending time with you and meeting you again. Thank you very much.
This is our 25th anniversary, and we have had the honor of having some excellent people share in the Carah Awards. And while your dinner is being served, I'd like to just name some of them for you, and perhaps you can remember if you attended the dinner when they were honored. We've had Hollywood stars like Cicely Tyson and CCH Pounder. We've had legendary musicians, including Monty Alexander and Jimmy Cliff and the Mighty Sparrow. We've also had public servants. The U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder has been honored by ICS, as well as our local district attorneys general, Judge Wilma Lewis and Carl Racine. We've had authors, well-known writers, Edric Dandicat of Haiti and Maurice Condé of St. Kitts. We've had scientists and inventors, Professor Cardinal Ward of Barbados and Dr. Cato Lawrencine of St. Lucia. So those of you who are being honored tonight are among some very distinguished company. We have given over 150 individual awards in the 25 years of Carah. We've also been visited by heads of state, including Prime Minister Owen Arthur of Barbados and Prime Minister Keith Mitchell of Grenada, as well as many members of Congress who have worked to sustain and to support the Caribbean. It is now my great pleasure to acknowledge our gala sponsors, and to help me do this is Roxanne Valleys and Eric Walcott, members of ICS leadership team.
Good evening, and greetings on behalf of the leadership team of ICS. My name is Roxanne Valleys. I am a board member of ICS, and this is Eric Walcott. He is the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Corporate Development. That's a mouthful. He does a lot. I'm going to dub this year the Year of the Woman, and as such, I'm going to say that we have to do things a little different. So as is not customary, I'm going to do all the work here, and Eric is going to stand next to me and look beautiful. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right. So first, let me thank you all for coming. All protocols observed. We want to say a special thanks to our Gala Host Committee, a few of whom have been with ICS for over 20 years. They are responsible for all of you being here tonight, and so we thank them tremendously. The ambassadors have already been acknowledged, but we would like to acknowledge their support for this event as well as for ICS in general. Their support is invaluable to everything we do here at ICS. So we thank you for lending us your embassies or your names, or for showing up and serving as moderators when we ask, as you did for the two-day forum in West Caribbean, which was a success. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Next, we like to thank our volunteer production team members. They have been working hard for the last several months to make both the Gala and the Invest Caribbean Conference an amazing event. We especially want to single out our amazing woman of all business, Mrs. Karima Daly. I don't see her because, as usual, she is somewhere doing some work. She does a lot for us, and we have to thank her from the bottom of our hearts. She's making this possible. Finally, the sponsors. You've seen their names on the screen, but we want to give a big shout out to Burt Smith and Company. Yes, please give them a big clap. This Caribbean American company has stepped up year after year to help us keep this dream alive. It really does take cash to care, and we really and literally could not do this without them. And we are grateful for their continued, sustained support. We also must say thank you to Genesis and eMagic, our new partners who joined us this year. We are also grateful to our advertisers and friends who, by giving a little extra, help us to fill some of the gaps. We thank our in-kind partners for the staging, the flowers, camera crews, and the programs tonight. Those are all courtesy to their generosity. Thank you so much. You did it before I asked, but please, let's give all our sponsors and partners a round of applause. We've built the foundation. Now it's time to grow. And growing, we will. If you're interested in growing a relationship with ICS, the leading advocacy organization in the Caribbean American community, please see me or any of our board members. Once again, thanks for coming. It takes a village. We need you. See me afterwards so we can make things happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now back to our awesome host, Maureen Bunyan.
Thank you so much, Roxanne, and really good job, Eric. Outstanding. We'll bring you back next year. Now, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the podium Dr. Claire Nelson, my dear friend and founder of the Institute for Caribbean Studies. Dr. Nelson.
Friends, Caribbean Massive, how am I feeling? That doesn't sound so good at all, at all, at all. Caribbean Massive! I mean, I know we're in the JW Marriott, Trinidad Nation's capital. You know, we're only a couple of feet from the White House and all of that. But still, we have to retain our Caribbean culture. So let us try this again. Caribbean Massive! How you feeling? Irish! That's right. Give yourself a hand. Well, my auntie girlie would have said, story come to bomb, cook people in a pretty dandan and thing. Lord, you know, tries to kill puss back foot, and all who know in a puss back foot, in a cow front foot. But I have to say, you are looking very beautiful, and I'm very happy to be able to stand here and say, wow, 25 years. I have to start off by saying to Gabriel Christian, I'm not who sure if Ian Edwards is around tonight. I think I saw him earlier, he might have left. But Gabe and Ian, stand up if you're around. Where's Gabe? Yeah, so 1 March in 1993, me and 7 dwarfs, okay, Gabe, not you, but me and around 7 guys got together. You might say, what was she doing with 7 men? My dears, if tales could tell. But anyway, me and these guys got together, or the guys and I got together, and basically thought as young people, we wanted to try to do something very different. And out of that meeting, on the corner of 18th and L Street, Bob Walker's office, ICS was born. We didn't know what we were doing, quite frankly, but we had an idea, we had passion, and quite frankly, I think the reason why we lasted certainly the first 5 years, because when I went to speak to one person about it, he said, so who is funding you? And I said, nobody. And the man put down one piece of laugh and said, ha ha! It will never last. And I think just telling me that was the impetus for saying, well, watch me. Me a Jamaican. Come test me and see. So here we are. Here we are. And as I think about the next 25 years, which is 2043, I'm wondering what might that look like. And I see myself as a sprightly 85 years old. No, you will not be wheeling me out in a wheelchair, Mr. Jamal, right? Jamal is my youngest Turk, right? I'll be dancing up on stage, complete of my nanotechnology hip and my other ear. As a matter of fact, I'll be here to tell you about my life as the first Jamaican on the Space Heritage Site, which we in the Caribbean Space Society helped to make into being. And you might say, what is she talking about? You see, as we reach this point of our history, our journey, we have to think, what next for ICS? We certainly can't continue doing what we've done before. We must pivot. We must dream new dreams. And we must think about how do we create a smart future, especially in this critical time that we're faced. How do we think about things like space? We hear about U.S. Space Force and Mr. Musk and the Three Musketeers trying to mine the moon and China going to the dark side of the moon and all of this stuff. But where are we as our people? What are we doing? How are we as the diaspora, the intellectual capital that resides in the northern countries, helping to rebuild and reframe and reignite the kind of dreams that our ancestors, such as Norman Washington Manley and Barrow and Forbes Burnham, all these guys who kind of stood up and took us into the early 20th century. What can we learn from their successes, and what might we learn from their mistakes? And so I say, we must consciously think about how do we sankofa tomorrow? How do we fetch from the past what we must so we might go forward? How can we propel ourselves into a 21st century smart Caribbean that is sustainable, that has meaningful metrics, that is agile, adaptable, that is concerned about robust resilience, that is talking about transformative use of technology? And beyond being smart, how do we become smarter? Yes, smarter, H-E-R. How do we create a more holistic vision of the world? How do we deal with the equity around race and class and gender and all the other isms and schisms that divide us? And finally, how do we talk about regenerating an economy, regenerating this planet that is at the very verge of disaster? I believe as small as we are, we, the Caribbean nations who were at the center of commerce from the 16th century to the 18th century, and we, the Caribbean peoples who were indeed that commerce, have a lot to offer in this world that we now must create, this new future. We can share a lot of who we are in terms of helping to create a new vision for well-being and welfare of our human family. And indeed, as we think about our children and our grandchildren, it demands that we really do things differently. So how about you? Can you help me imagine a Caribbean American Heritage Society, a Caribbean American Heritage Month that involves every single state in this America where Caribbean reside? Can you help us reimagine the Caribbean section of the Smithsonian Museums that says, here is what we gave to America? Shirley Chisholm and John Russwurm and Marcus Garvey and Sekou Touré. I mean, the list goes on and on and on in terms of Caribbean icons that have transformed the trajectory of American history. And so we continue, and we must continue, we must persist. So despite and all my friends have been groaning a lot. Lord, this year has been like giving birth to a 10-pound elephant. I said, this is the last year, you know. This is the last year. I'm not doing that again. It's time I retire now. But, folks, when I think about the fact that we have a Caribbean American Heritage Month, which is on the books, when I think about the fact we have a bill called HR 4939, in which says the State Department must confer with the Caribbean diaspora in designing its agenda with the Caribbean region, how can we seize what we're doing now? And so I'm asking you, please, 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 to consider taking up a role in this future that we're creating. Consider joining the crew on Spaceship Earth, Spaceship ICS, because truly on this planet there are no passengers. We all must be crew. Consider joining us so that we can together co-create a future that is thriving, not, as you heard, surviving. That we can know that our successes and are the embodied hopes and visions and prayers, not just of the ancestors past, some of whom have honored on this very stage, but also the hopes and dreams of your children and your grandchildren. Together we can. Yes, we can. Who will join with us on this cruise to our shared future? Friends and family. Friends and family. Yes, we are family, a family of choice. I look to the immediate task of taking this organization to an institution that can certainly survive my stepping down. That is what we have to do next. And so we are creating something called a Smart Caribbean Collaboratory. A Smart Caribbean Collaboratory. so that the other heretics and outliers and outlaws like myself, who often feel alone, misunderstood, can find a home for your crazy dreams and ideas of a Caribbean future, and know that you have family who will help you walk that journey. And so tonight, we celebrate some of those heretics, including one who thought, well, nothing is wrong with me singing opera. I mean, it's not the norm, but certainly I can do that. We can think about those who thought, well, I'm an engineer and I certainly have some ideas. Why don't I create a little something called e-magic and help companies around the world reimagine how they manage their resources with efficiency? And we think about Dr. Crapper, who said with his colleagues, how can we think about making communication smarter? And was part of a team that created that transformative technology that is a touchscreen. Friends, genius lies in our DNA, our very DNA. And so, as you think about what next for ICS, as you think about what next for yourself, I invite you to join with us in creating an intellectual capital repository that will transform the Caribbean region and the world. And as the right excellent Marcus Messiah Garvey would say, it is all about understanding that it is one God, it is one aim, and it is indeed one destiny. I salute you. To God be the glory.
From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain. Test of their courage, of freedom was gained. In homage of those gone before us, the heroes of land in the sun, we vow to hold hand and do focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing of your Caribbean pride, sing it loud and strong, and be as one.
Thank you so much to the Image Band, and I've learned something new, that there is a CARICOM song. Our first award of the evening is the Vanguard Award, and it goes to a beautiful and talented woman whose brilliant voice has taken her from opera to Broadway to jazz and popular songs. She's a prize-winning soprano with Guyanese roots.
I was born in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. My mom was a huge opera fan, and so I would impersonate singers that I heard on the radio to entertain my friends, actually, kind of as a joke. And I was imitating an opera singer one day, and a friend said, you know, that's not half bad. You should maybe think of taking some voice lessons. And I did. I was 12 years old. The teacher asked me to do my opera voice, and I did, and she sort of couldn't believe the sound that came out and said, well, I'd really like to train you classically. I ultimately chose Oberlin, and I majored in sociology and pre-law in the college and voice performance in the Conservatory of Music. And then it was in my last year, I made a bet with myself. Allison, if you get into the Curtis Institute of Music or Juilliard for your master's, you're going to give yourself 5 years to make it and attempt to make your Metropolitan Opera debut by the time you're 25. And if you haven't done that, then the signs all point to go to law school. Well, I got into the Curtis Institute. I went the next fall, and that spring I won the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions, and the next year I was singing at the Met. You know, I had an interesting upbringing because my father is Guyanese, and that he was born and raised there and instilled a lot of, both of my grandmothers I should say, instilled a lot of their traditions from growing up in me. And we would spend actually every summer in Barbados. Ah. So that's sort of my second home. Sure. And so I have a real strong connection to the Caribbean community. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where I was, but Kathleen Battle was singing at the Kennedy Center. I think I must have been in college. And my parents got tickets to go see her in concert. And my father was not a huge opera lover at this point. He is now. Yes, huge, of course. And my biggest fan, that's for sure. Of course. But they got tickets to go see Kathleen Battle, and I came home for whatever it was, spring break or something. And my father, he just said, wow, wow. And he said, in his accent, he says, Allison, it's like she was singing to me, right to me. And my dad, who, again, not an opera fan, I mean, just fell in love and thought, you know, she was just the greatest thing ever. And she was definitely one of my inspirations. And I just thought, gosh, if I can make that impact on somebody as a performer, as an artist someday, I would love to be able to do that. Right?
Given one line to read. I have to put my glasses on because it's a very short line. It's to Alison Cambridge. It says, thank you for bringing the joy of song to the world. Hang on. But Alison is a daughter of Guyana, and I'm not going to stand here and give you one line. I have seen and heard Alison sing. I went to Wolf Trap last year with my wife, and we were blown away. It's not just opera, it's jazz, it's blues, it's Broadway musicals. She is a wonderful talent. She is beautiful, brilliant, and she has the voice of an angel. And I claim her as a daughter of Guyana. A daughter of Scandinavia, of course, and a daughter of America. But first and foremost, a daughter of Guyana, and the daughter of a Queen's College boy. And I am proud and honored to present this award to her. It's the Carah Vanguard Award. I take great pleasure in doing this. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Ali Cam.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you all so much Thank you, Ambassador, for that, the warmest welcome. I'm truly touched and honored to be here this evening. First and foremost, I would like to recognize my incredible parents, Dr. Richard and Jody Cambridge, who are here with me this evening. As that lovely video just showed, I grew up here in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., and thanks to my parents, my Caribbean heritage was, from the very beginning, an integral part of me and my upbringing. From the Guyanese chow mein my granny, Lenny Cambridge, used to cook for us, to the nearly 20 summers I spent in Barbados as a family, and since then, for some of my concert performances, my Caribbean heritage is a part of me for which I could not be more proud. What my Guyanese father and grandmother instilled in me is almost beyond words. It is a true and deep sense of pride, a certain but humble regality, a strong commitment to family, and to continually striving to be the very best you can be, not only for yourself, but for others. I was given the gift of music and a voice, and my parents nurtured that gift from a young age. For that, I'm truly grateful. And I'm grateful to all who have supported and enjoyed my music and desire to communicate and make a difference through music. I thank the Caribbean American Heritage Awards for this most wonderful and beautiful honor. Thank you all.
Our next award is the Excellence in the Arts Award. This awardee began to paint at the age of 4 in his native Haiti. Today, his artwork fills the homes of celebrities and top galleries around the world. His striking 65-foot-long mural symbolizing unity is seen by millions of travelers going through New York's Kennedy Airport. His dreamlike portraits and still lifes are haunting and coveted by art collectors, including me.
Faces of Freedom sont concept de l'époque de l'esclavage. Nous connaissons que nous prenons l'indépendance en 1804, mais avant 1804, nous étions esclavage. Donc, tableau ça vraiment symbolisé, représenté l'époque ça, avant l'esclavage, pendant l'esclavage et après l'esclavage. C'est pour ça qu'on regarde dans le visage, on a une certaine philosophie, une certaine expérience dont vécu. C'est une époque qui est importante, parce que c'est lui-même qui est une époque déterminante. C'est ça que Haïti, à partir de liberté, ça tout que tout peuple dans l'autre Amérique a une liberté et tout. Mais l'on regarde sous le visage, on a des coupures, on doit entrer là-dedans pour pouvoir sentir l'époque que nous vivons là. Ouais. On regarde le regard de tout. Il y a une certaine sagesse là-dedans, parce que ouais, Massa, son collection que moi l'homme universel. C'est-à-dire que c'est même, soit vous remarquez, c'est le même visage là, pas vrai? Même visage là, mais avec différentes couleurs. Son mémorial que je fais pour esclaves qui mourent dans le bateau pendant la traversée, chaque poteau ça représente différentes tribus qui sont en Afrique. Petit petit ça, ouais, là, lui-même, on considère comme ça, c'est l'allégresse. Ouais, son petit monde normalement qui parle. Ou t'as dit pas faire partie de la collection, mais en même temps qu'il a qui existe, parce que c'est l'espoir d'une nation. Son petit monde ouais, qui a regardé vers l'avenir, qui a regardé loin, c'est l'avenir. C'est ça qui représente l'avenir. Donc, Faces of Freedom, son collection pour faire le tour du monde. Donc, il a proposé pour l'exposition faire le tour des musées qui ont rapport avec la culture noire là, et qui va retourner bientôt, qui va constituer un patrimoine pour le pays.
Unfortunately, Mr. Legionnaire was not able to travel from Haiti yesterday as he had planned to be with us. And so, with great humility, I accept the award on his behalf and also the painting that he so kindly and generously promised ICS he would donate in lieu of his presence with us tonight. Now, I would like to add a little personal note about Jean-Claude Legionnaire. I have, those of you who know me for a long time, I started collecting Haitian art in the 70s. I have not been able to afford a painting by Mr. Legionnaire. So, when he sends his painting to us, Claire, I expect to have the first look at it. And if you want to make some more money for Life Seed, I will bid on the painting. And if any of you would like to do so, please join me. We'll have a bidding party for Jean-Claude Legionnaire's painting. And please, when you go home tonight, look up his name. I know you have a lot of beautiful information about him in your program booklet. He is one of the stars of Haitian art, one of the stars, and I'm sorry that he isn't able to be with us. Our next awardee is also a star in his own way. For outstanding public service, the award is given to Jerry Butler. I see he has a following. Mr. Butler has spent his entire career in service to the Caribbean and Latin America. A native of the Bahamas, he was twice... Bahamas? Thank you. There's one over there. I'm sure there are other ones. He's the one who's the loudest. A native of the Bahamas, he was twice elected executive director of the Inter-American Development Bank and is respected for his strategic advice on social policy and legislation.
I'd like to thank everyone that nominated my father for the Caribbean Public Servant of the Year. That is absolutely amazing. Like, my dad worked so hard for so many people and so many countries, and I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy that he's being recognized for his hard work, not just in his local community, but throughout the Caribbean.
Jerry was born in the era of the great American singer Jerry the Iceman Butler, whom our mother Blanche was a huge fan of. Little did she know at that time that her sixth child and fourth son would follow in the footsteps of the Iceman and go on and do great things also.
Jerry makes a positive impact just by stepping into a room. It's not because he's so handsome or impeccably dressed. It's because he has an energy, a desire, and will to make the world a better place.
Congratulations, Jerry. I wish you all the best. And I do, thank God for the blessings that he has bestowed on you. And I'm very thankful to have you as a big brother and a good coach and mentor.
I've known Jerry all of my life. He has been my childhood friend. I've had the honor of being his best man at his wedding. He is deserving of this award for the many years of service he's put to the Caribbean, serving many countries and achieving their goals.
I'd like to share a few things that I think about my dad and his work. My dad is a very caring person. Whenever I make slightly offensive jokes, he always likes to tell me to take into account other people's feelings and to put yourselves in their shoes. He's one of the very few people that I know who doesn't only talk about wanting to help people and uplift people, but he actually does it. It's his job.
My name is Peter Turnquist, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is my pleasure to congratulate my friend Jerry Butler on this prestigious honor tonight. He has certainly been a valuable contribution to us in the Bahamas and to the Caribbean constituency as the Executive Director over the last couple of years. Jerry has a wealth of knowledge and experience that he's brought to bear, and he has certainly done his part to help us to achieve some of our objectives here. And we certainly look forward to this next phase as he continues to utilize his skills to help our country and the Caribbean constituency as a whole.
We are craft. We solve Caribbean energy problems. Congratulations!
Thank you so much, Jerry Butler, not only for inspiring the world through your public service, but also remembering to inspire your children. I was very proud of that. Thank you, and congratulations on winning this Outstanding Public Service Award.
I'm here because my dear friend, you know, it was more than 30 years ago. She was a little girl, you know, probably one of the first female engineers to graduate from Purdue University with PhD. When I came to the IDB and she came into my office, she said, "Executive Director, me having trouble because me the only black woman making noise in this bank." She subsequently retired. A lot of people ask me now that I've retired from the board of directors what I'll do next. And I'm not sure other than to say I'm going to make a lot of money. But what I always say is I definitely want to dedicate a lot of my time and effort to helping Claire and ICS grow from strength to strength. So, yeah. And Claire isn't just Claire, you know. Claire's got Oscar with her. She's got Roxanne with her. She's got Eric with her. She's got like people who just are a labor of love. They build this organization, they work it. And, you know, God willing, if I'm here next year, I want to start off with the first $1,000, Claire. That's when I win the lottery, of course. I've always made up my mind that I'm going to create a scholarship fund in the name of Dr. Claire Nelson. Honor her while she's alive. And you know, in my usual, if Claire hadn't told me, "Jerry, you only have a minute," I would have written the check and started the bidding process. And I got some buddies over here who would have matched me. I did that in July at Andy Ingram's NABUD event. I raised $10,000 in less than 5 minutes. So next year, Claire, you put that on the agenda, the Dr. Claire Nelson Scholarship Fund.
You know, it's really not that late. We do have time for you to start the bidding. Go right ahead. All right, it's all yours.
I love Maureen. You know, every time I come to this event, it's always, I watch her on TV, so it's really a sense of pride to see her. She just, you know, my mother died in 2008, and so for when I see a lady just turn beautiful with age, that's what Maureen is to me. A beautiful lady who is like fine wine, right? Fine wine. She just, anyway, so listen. Let me tell you a little bit about the work I did. So I've had a lot of fun in my career. Being the youngest and the first and only black at the time in 2004, black person at the board of directors. I've come back so many times to have served as dean of the board the Bahamas became chairman of the board of directors of the IDB when we were running a budget of $15 billion for the community. I've been privileged, you know. I chaired the committee that wrote off $540 million of Guyana's debt, $900 million of Haitian debt. You know, I served on the committee that decided to give Jamaica $1 billion to pull it out of where it was. So, you know, I've got a buddy here with me, Bosco Marty, who is the executive director for La República Dominicana and Mexico. My buddy from Japan, Toshi, Japan gave the IDB about $2 billion for us to use in the region, a lot of which we fought to get in in the Caribbean. And when I think about Bosco and I, we went to Panama at the invitation of the Panama president last year. You know what? It was the opening of the new Panama Canal. Well, when we were on the board, we gave the first $1 billion to Panama to fund the new canal opening. And so it was those experiences that opportunity allowed me to do. And so I'm proud. Well, I don't sing opera. I have seen Kathleen battles. I have walked along, along the Champs-Élysées, and I've seen Jesse Norman. And so to see Jesse Norman and to see Kathleen battles, and then to see a gorgeous, beautiful Guyanese lady who could sing just as well as they can sing, I'm in such really good company. I just feel so proud, so honored, and so privileged. And I guess the only 3 lessons I learned along the way that I see my son and my daughter picking up. And they're really 3 easy lessons. The first is you cannot fly with one wing. What does that mean? That means that throughout my life, I've operated with a team. I've been lucky, 2 of my brothers and 2 of my sisters, they came up here to be with me. That's part of my team, right? So I can't fly with one wing. The next thing I've learned has been very practical in terms of everything I've negotiated in deals for the Caribbean, and that is this. It is futile. In fact, it's foolish for the sheep to declare that we should all be vegetarians if the wolf is of a different opinion. Don't ever forget that. And the last thing I've learned, and that's why I bring all my buddies here who've done things, run multi-million-dollar companies, etc., is you should surround yourself with positive people who are going places. If you are in the company of people who are negative and drag you down, you won't be going places. So to be at where I am in life and to have God's grace and to be able Sunday morning to go to Mass with my sister who is celebrating her birthday is to feel, and my sister Emily, her birthday, yes, is to feel that God has blessed you as an individual, God has blessed you as a Caribbean person, and God has given you a responsibility to bring the next generation along and to help every person along the way that you could, and to make some money while you do it. Because in essence, I'm a capitalist. So with that being said, thank you so much, Claire. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. Listen, I thought your presentation was going to be a Genesis motor vehicle. I told the people at the table we'd be rolling home not in Uber. But anyway, I really want to thank you. And to you, the audience who paid attention to me as I ranted and raved, I'm very much obliged to you for your kind attention. Thank you very much for this honor.
When we come back, the presentation of the coveted Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award and the Outstanding Contribution to Corporate America Award. The 25th Caribbean American Heritage Awards will be right back. Welcome back to the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards Gala.
Congratulations, Mr. Samuels. I myself am particularly pleased to be here and talking with you because I am a great, great fan. And so I would ask you about how did you discover that you were so good at comedy? Was it intentional or just part of what happened as you got into theater?
Well, it was not intentional. And I can tell you, I believe it's a gift. I cannot explain it. But because when I became conscious of, I like English language. And I used to do a lot of the speeches by Martin Luther, and this thing, I was more veering to the serious.
That's hard to believe.
Yes. So, I don't know, this comedic thing must have been a talent.
It definitely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For most probably traditional families, if you said, oh, mommy, daddy, I want to be a comic, they'll be like, that's not a real job.
Yeah.
You need to go get a real job.
Mm-hmm.
What is your response to a young person who's interested in the arts and theater but thinks, well, I have to do it with something else because this isn't considered a real career?
It's not true. It depends on the person's expectations also, right? Another job is also very good because in this business you don't get a lot of pay. So if you are one of those persons who love the exorbitant existence, then you have to find a second job. So, you know, nothing is wrong with 2 jobs anyway.
Anyway, okay. And we're known to have multiple jobs, so
yes.
one of our stereotypes. Tell me a little bit about what was your response when you learned that you'll be receiving the Caribbean American Heritage Award for Excellence in the Arts.
Listen, I could not believe it, because here I am on my little journey, doing my little stuff all over the place, and you know, to hear that I was selected to receive this prestigious award, I said, thank you, God. Yes. You know, because I am doing what I'm doing because of the passion I have for it, you know.
Yes. So,
you know, I've seen people who value themselves more than I do, and they ask for stuff. They ask for monies, and they get it. Some don't. Right. Some you never hear of before. So probably it's an act of cowardice on my part to not to demand, because people say you're so good and you're just asking for this and all that sort of stuff. But it's the love that I have for it. It's the love that I have for it.
Yeah.
My whole mission, I believe, in this thing is to entertain people.
And we enjoy it so much.
Thank you so very much.
Our next award is the Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award. And this awardee is one of the funniest men to emerge from the Caribbean. Oliver Samuels, also known as the Jamaican King of Comedy, excels at stand-up comedy, theater, and television. And like all Jamaicans, he has more than one job. He is the Vice President and Director and Head of Marketing and Public Relations of a Kingston-based company. I don't know how he does this. I guess he does his television and comedy at night, and then during the day he works doing public relations and marketing. I think it's wonderful, all of you Jamaicans, for setting the bar so high for the rest of us who only want one job in our lives, at least one job at a time. We're indebted to you for having 2 jobs because you are contributing your taxes and Social Security and everything else to keep those of us who only have one job happy as we retire. The first secretary, the DCM of the Embassy of Jamaica, Andrea Dubidad Dixon, will present the award, the Marcus Garvey Lifetime Award, to Mr. Samuels after this video.
Who are the Dan man? Me say who are the Dan man? And who are the comedian?
Wait, one Oliver. You find work yet? Oliver!
What you calling me name for like a fella? Do I know you?
What you mean if you know me?
Why you hollering out me name?
Good morning, sir.
You say something, ma'am?
Good morning, sir.
It's not good for me at all, ma'am. Then 2 suitcases I would figure me earlier.
Are you traveling, sir?
But what a question. Of course I'm traveling. Then why you think me that dress up in me winter coat, me ears muffins, and me gloves? How far in me going? Not kidding. Just creep off the bacon and give me the fowl.
Oh, don't spoil it!
When you take the needle and push it in the cloth, so, and you pull back the thread round back, so, and then you put the needle in the cloth, so, and you pull back the thread round back, yeah, so.
See again? Yeah, idiot doing. Look how you make me follow this dumpy needle and thread.
The same way the Lord warned Moses
about the flood. Noah. The very same way Noah warned Moses about the flood.
No, man, the Lord.
Make up your blooming mind, no, man.
All right, continue. Talk so loud, man.
It's light, you see.
Your luggage is overweight, sir?
You know, you have a nerve here called something overweight, you know. Because if she ever stand up on the scale there, all next week the nigga gonna stop spin.
Your luggage is
overweight, sir. All right. Your luggage is overweight.
Ladies and gentlemen, theater is big business, and Marcus Garvey, our national hero, was a man who understood the use of theater as a tool for social commentary. And so it is indeed an honor to present Mr. Oliver Samuels, the Jamaican King of Comedy, with the Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award.
Lord of mercy. You notice me not come up here with no paper. The late Honorable Louis Bennett Coverley did say, Tory they fi tell, but long bench no they fi draw. For those of us who are not biliterate, it means that there are so many things that I have to say, but time short. So me have to cut it short too. Listen, I am so delighted to be in your presence. And when I've listened to the names of some of those big neck people that receive award before me say, yes, Baba, me in a good company. I am very, very honored to receive this because when I went into theater, I thought it was just for fun. I had so much energy and I wanted to let some loose. And instead of going to teach people sitting in a prison, I said, let me use it creatively. And the Little Theater Movement was there, and they started a school. I went, I auditioned, having looked up the word and what it means. And I soliloquized. Oh, no, take me no big word, no? And I did my solo piece, and the man said to me, don't call us, we'll call you. Now me know say my career done. Anyway, the postal system at the time was quite good, and in 3 days, I got a letter inviting me to become a student of the School of Drama. I stayed there for a few years, and I suppose I did well. I know me not get no certificate yet. Because the school was not really recognized at the time. The Fowlers they were like Dr. Clear here, had great insight and, a plan for the future of black people. But the ministry did backward at the time. So, them never... I know me not get certified yet. But to be recognized by this august institution is better than for them certification. Ladies and gentlemen, through my performing arts, I've had the great pleasure of going to all the English-speaking Caribbean, and I have been received warmly just as though I was in Jamaica. And it is really a great pleasure. I just did Barbados, I did St. Kitts, and some other one. I mean some, when I say some other one, I mean say them insignificant, you know. I don't remember their name. And I've also gone down into Guyana. You remember them Arara rice? Lord, that the rice, it smell bad, man. Oh, where is the ambassador? Listen to me now. It doesn't smell bad, it think. Jamaica, Caribbean people used to get that rice, don't we? Kuya. Then I'm the only Jurassic person here. Nobody remembers the Indian made them a rice. You don't remember the ad or anything? Lord, man, you don't make me feel old. Anyway, I have had the pleasure of performing in Guyana, and the reception was just as wonderful. I have done America, I have done Canada, I have done England, and I've been all over the place sharing my humor with members of the diaspora. You can't say diaspora Jamaica, you know. If you ever say diaspora Jamaica, one person in particular said, no, that's not the pronunciation. It's diaspora. Anytime I said, I have to take a deep breath because I'm not sure I'm going to explode upon the pora. But folks, I really am very happy to be in your presence this evening. I hope my presence here made a difference because I'm the first person who laugh so hearty. So now that me make you laugh, you know, if you clap me. So thank you. I love the lady here, you see. She have a nice way. She come in like me. When you chat too long, she can't touch you. Maureen, thank you so very much for reminding me that I should get off the stage. Caribbean folks, God bless you all.
I have to take this opportunity to ask Mr. Samuels if he could teach me just a couple of phrases of Jamaican patois. Something that's colorful but not...
A lovely one is no bother me.
Say it again?
No bother me.
No bother me.
Yes, don't bother me.
Oh, I could figure that out. How do you say I love you?
Me love you.
Oh, me love you.
Clap, Maureen, folks.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, Mr. Samuels. Our next award is the Outstanding Contributions to Corporate America Award. The award for Outstanding Contributions to Corporate America goes to an expert in event management and marketing who is a native of Nevis. In her role as Vice President and Executive Director of Events for Graves Ventures, owner of Black Enterprise, Sherry Herbert creates very successful business conferences, including the prestigious Women of Power Summit, one of the nation's largest conferences for women executives and entrepreneurs of color.
Sherry Herbert is Vice President and Executive Director of Events for Graves Ventures, LLC, where she oversees all corporate conferences, custom events, and ancillary products for Black Enterprise. Sherry has an enthusiastic, can-do spirit with a Midas touch. You can feel her presence and influence in all of the engaging and profitable national conferences, symposiums, and forums that Black Enterprise produces annually. She has led her team in the execution of the Women of Power Summit, one of the largest conferences for female executives and entrepreneurs of color. Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Summit, the nation's most prominent gathering of African American entrepreneurs and business leaders.
And I want to thank Terrence, Gail, as well as Earl, Butch, Sherry, and the entire Black Enterprise team.
Black Enterprise Golf and Tennis Challenge, the leading networking recreational event for African American corporate professionals. Black Men Excel, a multi-day celebration of enlightenment and empowerment for men of color. And Tech Connects, a 3-day event targeting the Black tech community.
There's a number of different people here, and you'll see them. They're not all dressed in the same exact thing, but I want you to know who those staff members are. So in the back, I see Sherry Herbert. Sherry runs the event for Black Enterprise.
Plus 2 of the hottest by invitation-only events in the country. She oversees the 2020 Vision Supplier Diversity Forum, sponsored by Walmart, and Be Smart Symposiums, in conjunction with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, to help connect and prepare college students for the workforce when it comes to finding the right entertainment to dazzle the Black Enterprise audience. Sherry and her team create memorable experiences with some of the hottest performers in the music industry, including Fantasia, Estelle, and Wyclef. Sherry Brown Herbert was born in Nevis, and in 1979, she migrated to New York. She credits her family with much of her success. She's married to Malvin Herbert, and they have a daughter, Jasmine. She's an active member in her church and community. She serves on the fundraising and stewardship committees of Grace Episcopal Church in Bronx, New York, and has co-chaired several committees advancing the value of its female members. As for the future, there is no limit on the business opportunities for growth. As a Nevisian, she expects nothing less, and we deserve nothing less.
Wow. Shirley Chisholm quoted, Sherry Herbert exudes confidence, quiet confidence. She exemplifies the spirit of resilience. ICS says, thank you for your outstanding work. It is my distinct pleasure to present to you the Carah Award for Outstanding Contributions to Corporate America.
Good evening, everyone. I must say that I am a little nervous. I'm usually behind the scene and not in front of the audience. So I am pleased and honored and humbled to accept this award to join past recipients who I have long admired and respected. A very special thanks to the ICS board for selecting me, and an enormous salute to all of this year's awardees, each of whom have made incredible contributions in their respective field and community. Receiving this award would not have been possible without the inspiration I have received from my colleagues at Black Enterprise, for whom I have the deepest respect, and from whom I have derived the strength to challenge myself and to perform each day. I sincerely thank them for helping me reach a stage where I can proudly hold up this award as a mark of my achievement. I cannot thank God enough for making my existence fruitful. I am grateful to everyone who has always been a part of my journey, my mentors, my friends, for always supporting me and being here this evening at table number 12 and table number 18. I am also blessed with an amazing and supportive family, my extended family, my mother, Kalmita, my brothers and sisters here in spirit, and my daughter, Jasmine, who's now a freshman at St. John's University. She's not here to celebrate with me because she didn't want to miss her Friday classes. I can't argue with her on that. I'm happy that she picked the class since this is her first semester. She did text me before I get here to wish me good luck. And last but not least, to, of course, my biggest champion and friend, my husband of 20 years, Malvin Herbert. Thank you for your continued love and support. Tonight would not have been possible without you guys. They're truly my backbone. Throughout my years at Black Enterprise, I have had the opportunity to travel, learn, and grow. Having had the opportunity to share the stage with a diverse group of professionals, business leaders, entertainers, athletes, and corporate executives exposed me to the ingredients necessary to succeed in corporate America, and most importantly, execute my responsibilities at Black Enterprise. My role as VP Executive Director at Black Enterprise makes it possible for me to impact the lives of people of color in business and responsible citizenship. I work diligently with my team to make real the concept of collaboration to ensure that we deliver products of the highest standard. As a mentee, I give back in small measures to the youth in my church. I am fortunate to have the opportunity to work with a diverse and excellent company. Black Enterprise, corporate sponsors and advertisers, organizations, and individuals who bring their talents and expertise to improve the playing field for all of us. And I did meet Irvin last year. He actually was a sponsor of our Black Men Excel event at PGA in Florida. And in every field, it is always a little easier to see yourself in a role if those you look up to look like you or have had similar experiences. Now, I'm just a girl from Nevis, an island of extraordinary beauty to a generation of immigrants who have brought their unique talent, vibrant culture, and their can-do attitudes to the United States. And along the way, I learned it pays to persevere. And to that end, I dedicate this award to my late grandfather, Johnny Brown, for laying the foundation in me for a moral self. He taught in me what it means to demand respect as a Black person, as a Black girl, and that no bit of disrespect is too small to raise hell over. I can hear his voice each time I'm stuck. Think, work hard, work smart, and always recognize your value. And for the Hamilton fans who have seen and read it all, there's still one more way to connect with us, both me and Alexander Hamilton. Visit the island of Nevis. Thank you.
When we come back, the presentation of the Excellence in Science and Technology Award and the prestigious Forerunner Award. Stay tuned. The 25th Caribbean American Heritage Awards will be right back.
When I first found out about this award, I had to make sure it was real. And I said, maybe someone's playing a prank on me. So I didn't say anything to anybody until I actually got the email. And I went to my wife, Natalie, and said, look, I think I'm being honored for something really, 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 really good. And then I remember, Mr. God Fagan received this award many years ago. And my wife, Natalie, works for Mr. Fagan, and we know him quite well. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in the league with God Fagan now. Ooh, I have achieved something in life.
Well, you certainly have done quite a bit, and you deserve this award in your own stead. So please, thank you again. Which will bring us to our next question about the work you've done. We know that you are the author of several patents. Which one would you say is the most interesting to you and that you enjoyed working on? And then the second part to that, which one is being used in a way that is the most surprising for you?
Well, the one that's most surprising, first of all, the work we did at Kodak when I moved over to take over the organic light emitting diodes program. They were working on, Kodak had invented OLEDs as a material, by accident, by reverse biasing this organic material, and it glowed in the dark. And they decided, well, what can we do with it? And so we said, we'll make things, all sorts of things that can be applied to displays. We made things like phones that had OLEDs in it. We made watches that had OLEDs in it. We made cameras that had OLEDs in it. We made picture frames that had OLEDs in it, way back in the 90s. And the one thing that really was surprising is that we have a pattern on how to put OLEDs and touchscreen together. That's the pattern I'm very much surprised at how the technology has mushroomed. Because today, every one of these devices, phones, even your touchscreen TVs, your pads, all use the interface of a touchscreen and an OLED.
Yes.
And I'm so surprised. I said, boy, I wish I had invented it without working for Kodak. I could be independently wealthy.
You could be rich.
The award for excellence in science and technology goes to Dr. Andre Cropper. He is an inventor and electrical engineer and is apparently a very modest man, because he says he is surprised at the impact of his work. To see his impact, just pull out your smartphone, a tablet, or your laptop. Among many other things, Dr. Cropper created something called organic light emitting diode displays. The technology that produces bright, colorful images with a wide viewing angle, low power, high contrast, and last of all, and best of all, it is used in all of our touch screens, and it especially helps us to enjoy sports and action movies even better than we would have. An amazing inventor, an amazing man, and he's from Trinidad and Tobago. And to present the award to him, His Excellency Anthony Philip Spencer, Ambassador of Trinidad and Tobago, will do so. Please watch the video.
From a very early age, I was fascinated with basically the way the radio worked, and I took it apart. And I found I couldn't put it back together. And that sparked my interest in STEM. And from there, I started to develop an interest in the math side of things. And my love for math just evolved as I grew older. And the patent I have is for a process of growing diamond in a lab. And it took from the time I was doing my master's in the 80s to close to the middle 90s of work before I think we were ready to submit that patent. A lot of hours, a lot of failures, a lot of perseverance.
What is your actual job?
It's a good question. I am an engineering fellow. I'm a senior technical staff, and I design things. I build things that allows it to be used in the government, help make things easier and better for people, such as cell phones and telecommunication things and TVs. Another patent that I'm kind of fascinated with and enjoy is the one I did while at Kodak on organic light emitting diodes, OLEDs. That patent is the one that combines a touchscreen with an OLED. And if you look at almost everything, everyone has a phone, an iPad, a Samsung pad, now the laptop's a touchscreen. They all work on the interface between a touchscreen and an OLED. I have had mentors and coaches that have helped me to develop to who I am today. It actually all started back in elementary school. I started off at Newtown Boys School and then went to Fatima College. One of the toughest things that we as an older generation have to do right now is to pass on our knowledge to the next generation. I think it's part of the requirement of being almost an elder. Being able to sit and allow the next generation to, first of all, grasp concepts. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a teacher.
Yeah. You want to give back, right? Like, your teacher here. What I've found is that once a student understands the fundamentals, especially in the STEM field, their potential is unlimited. So what subjects do you like the best right now?
Something I like the best right now is school.
Just everything?
Yes.
Very good, very good.
The school comes first for anything.
That's right. You know what? The most important thing in life is what you have inside here. They can never take this away. If you learn something, you have it forever, right? If you become well educated, you can go and do anything you want to. You just gotta put your mind to it. So being in school is exciting. Okay, oh my gosh. My first career goal was to be an educator, following in the footsteps of my mother, Vilma Cropper, who was a school teacher and then principal. Right after acquiring my PhD, I decided to go back to Trinidad, to University of the West Indies, and teach there. That was my lifelong dream, was to teach at UE. And so I joined the engineering department, and I enjoyed so much teaching the young minds from my island. Last year, the mayor of Rochester reached out to me and asked if I would get involved with her Pillar of Hope mentoring program, where each one of the inner city schools get about 5 professionals to come in and mentor a class. And I think, to me, it will be a lifelong passion to always give back, to always work with students, no matter where they're from. If they have an interest in STEM, I can be a mentor for them.
Good evening, everyone. You know, this is the second year that as the ambassador of Trinidad and Tobago to the United States, I'm showing up here to have the privilege and the pleasure of presenting the Award for Excellence in Science and Technology. In case you're not aware why that possibly could be so, Trinidad and Tobago graduates annually a higher rate of engineers per capita than any country in the hemisphere. Possibly. So tonight we honor a Trinidadian who has been identified in the program as a Kalinago Carib. So he's entitled to a Caribbean award. You know, from his fascination with maths and physics as a youngster, intent on becoming an engineer, even while he represented our country in swimming, this fellow countryman, with whom I share the same year birth, has changed the way we look at TV. He's the mastermind behind OLED displays. Put simply, anytime you touch a screen for effect, you owe it to the expertise and excellence of Dr. Andre Cropper. I'm therefore exceptionally pleased tonight to present the Carah Excellence in Science and Technology Award to distinguished Caribbean man, fellow countryman, Dr. Andre Cropper. Please join me in congratulating him.
Please allow me to greet and thank you in my limited knowledge of one of the Caribbean indigenous languages. And I ask you for your forgiveness for any errors that I may make with my choice of words or my pronunciation. Matawene au ayu, marikuva mabrike kikiuni kai karihi, mutu barana kiri magwego. Bibi ake inchanu.
Ao Magwegatu Aka Upiti Longini Bara Lika in Nini Manigali Bamatu. Good evening. I wish greetings to all people of the world, my elders and my mother. I am very happy and extremely surprised to receive this honor. It is with a sincere heart that I accept this prestigious award from this organization. Thank you. Very short and sweet.
Dr. Cropper, I asked Mr. Samuels if he could teach me some Jamaican patois. Can you teach me some engineering skills? You don't have time.
No, we don't have
I read in your biography that you are working on some top secret projects.
That is true.
Speak into the microphone.
Let's see. All of those projects are wonderfully fascinating and they're top secret.
And can we assume that they will in some way enhance and improve society?
Yes, all the work I do right now, working on next generation technology that's geared towards the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. And basically they are around intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and that's my area of specialty. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much. All the best to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I wanted to stay on his good side, so I hope it worked. He knows things. Thank you so much, Dr. Cropper. The Carah Forerunner Award is a gentleman who, at the age of 19, left Guyana, arriving in Toronto just in time for the Ontario winter. After overcoming the winters, he has managed to create several successful companies, among them Smart Works Capital, which develops proprietary software for trading securities, and eMagic Incorporated, an engineering consulting firm that builds process control systems. Perhaps the good doctor could explain that. Process control systems for industry. Tony Harris is also a philanthropist, to the great benefit of his high school alma mater, Queen's College in Georgetown, Guyana. His Excellency, Ambassador Riyad Insanali, will present the Forerunner Award. Unfortunately, Mr. Harris is not able to be with us because his flight was delayed from Montreal. We do hope that he might arrive in time to come in to be congratulated by us. But in any event, his cousin, Ms. Paul, will accept the award. So please watch the videotape and then welcome cousin Desiree Paul and Ambassador Insanali.
I met Tony 41 years ago at Queen's College in Guyana. We came to Canada on the same plane and spent 4 years as roommates at university. I can tell you this, life does not come to Tony. Tony charges straight at life.
The best advice I would give to any aspiring entrepreneur is to get started. And you may not necessarily know the entire process of going from start to finish. It's an iterative thing. You get a bit done, you figure out what you need to learn, you learn that, and you do it over and over again.
My name is Eugene Wu. Tony and I met 1985 at Queen's University, where we do computer simulation course together. After 8 months, Tony asked me to become his business partner. I took a leap of faith. I say yes. 33 years later, we're still partners. We are great friends. We are brothers.
I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy meeting new people because there's always something to learn. Everyone has a different journey. and there's a lot in their life that's different from yours.
My name is Akil Durrani. I'm a squash partner of Tony's. We play squash every Friday mornings. I really got to know Tony when we sponsored the Syrian family together out in 2015, I believe. Tony is a wonderful human being, extremely generous, always got a smile on his face.
Tony works hard, plays hard, which are key traits of a self-made man. But his passion, motivation, and insight shine through daily in his sharing of quotes from insightful people, much like himself. There is no smarter person with whom I have crossed paths with in my entire life than Tony Harris.
I've worked with Tony Harris in one of his companies for nearly 20 years, and I can honestly say that the Institute of Caribbean Studies could not have picked a better candidate for this award. Tony Harris is a true visionary in artificial intelligence and human-machine learning. Congratulations, Tony.
Congratulations, Tony, on your award.
Congratulations on winning this prestigious award, Tony.
Congratulations, Tony, on winning this award. All the best. Way to go.
Tony, this reward is sincere, honest, passionate recognition for a life totally well lived.
They've given me one line again. Looking at the groundbreaking accomplishments you have made, Tony, with your engineering company, I can truly say I'm pleased and proud to present the Carah Forerunner Award to a son of Guyana, Tony Harris. One line. A man who's done so much to give me one line. Well, let me tell you a few things. I am disappointed that Tony is not here because I haven't seen him since 1977. We were at school together. He was a couple of years below me. We were in the Scouts together. We were short together, and neither of us has grown. But his nickname was Shorty. That wasn't my nickname. And he's lost his hair. But Tony has done much better than I have done, and much better than a lot of us have done. And I am delighted that he has been on tonight, but it is a bittersweet moment because it reminds me of how much Guyana has lost. We've lost so much talent. We've lost our best and our brightest. We still have bright young people at home. The trick for us is to create opportunities to keep our young people in Guyana. And I know that Tony is giving back to Queens. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know that Tony is giving back to Queens College. I know where his heart is. And I know there are many other people like Tony who want to give back to Queens College and to their own schools and to Guyana. And when he comes tonight, if we're still here, but his flight gets in, I will tell him that, but I know I will get a chance to tell him that and to tell all other Guyanese who are giving back how proud I am of them, how much we still need them, and how pleased we are that they continue to achieve as Guyanese in North America and wherever they are. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Tony's cousin on his behalf. Thank you very much. I have to say.
Okay, by the magic of the cell phone, Tony has asked me to deliver a few remarks on his behalf. Good evening, everyone. These are Tony's words. The people in this room represent a larger community of Caribbean excellence, and I am proud to be a part of this community. Let's start with a round of applause for everyone in this room. I would like to thank Dr. Claire Nelson and her team for their excellent work in making this event possible. I accept this award with humble gratitude. Congrats to all the other honorees. I would like to give a big shout out to my awesome cousins, which I'm one of the cousins, my brother, my aunt, uncle for showing up. These guys are always there for me. My mother, Yvonne, is also in the house, the one in the red. She is proud as any mother would be, so give her a high five when you see her. Thanks to my wife, Janice, and my children for their support, their love and support. They too were stuck in Montreal. My secret weapon in my success is my business partner, Eugene. Eugene? I make promises, and he always delivers. He makes me look great. Thank you, Eugene. Last but not least, I would like to pay a tribute to the late Dr. John Meach. He was my friend, mentor, and graduate studies professor. In 1986, he showed me a newspaper article titled, "Making Computers Think Like People." This started my journey into the field of artificial intelligence. I made a pitch to him to change my thesis to artificial intelligence, and together Dr. Meach and I never looked back. He set me on this path and guided me with everything he had. Thank you, John, and thank you to everyone who made this possible. Thanks.
When we come back, the presentation of the Luminary Award to be presented to the Bad Boys of Reggae, the Inner Circle Band. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Towder and Lancelot, for joining us this evening, two members of the Inner Circle Band. What was your response when you were told that you'll be receiving the Caribbean American Heritage Award? Lancelot, you've got a good story.
Was that I wouldn't call it a good story. It was more of a surprise and honor. You know, it's nothing like being recognized by your peers and your people.
You know, these things are, in a way, unexpected. It's not like you're looking for them. So when they come your way, you know, you go, oh, thank you for actually acknowledging that we do exist.
You guys have won a Grammy. I think quite a few people know you exist.
The point is that when you're working, you don't think of awards and stuff like that.
Definitely.
You know, you're more focused on doing what comes natural to you. So basically that is what we do. We make music and we go around the world and entertain the people. And while we're doing that, we're also being ambassadors for our country, our culture, you know, so that's basically what we're doing. And it's first and foremost from the heart.
Our final award of the evening is the Luminary Award. For the past 50 years, the Inner Circle Band, also known as the Bad Boys of Reggae, has taken Jamaican music around the world. The globe-trotting brothers, Roger and Ian Lewis, were just 15 and 17 years old, respectively, when they created the Inner Circle Band. After all these years, their music continues to be loved by Jamaicans and millions of other people around the world. ICS President Dr. Claire Nelson will present the Carah Luminary Award to the founding member of the Inner Circle Band, Bernard Harvey, who celebrates 50 years as keyboardist, and to Lance Hall, the drummer of 30 years with the Inner Circle Band.
Yo, this is Ian from Inner Circle, along with my brother Roger, along with my brother Toto, along with my brother Lance. We've been jamming for over 50 years. As some people joke and say we're as old as Jamaica, but we love that. Jamaica, 1962, Inner Circle, 1962. We're still here jamming, and I think we titled The Long Road to Success.
From Kingston, Inner Circle has brought reggae music to audiences around the world, and I'm pleased and proud to present the Carah Luminary Award to the legendary Inner Circle Band, as represented by...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, 50 years. seemed like it was yesterday. Actually, for me, I've been with the group 44 years. Lance, 33 years. The youngest member in the circle has 20 years. So we're a family. I'm not Oliver Samuels, but I usually tell people this. I've had 2 divorces, but I'm still with the band. You know,
maybe the band caused the divorces.
You know, it's one of those things. 50 years, it seemed like it was yesterday. You know, accepting this award, my soul cries out because I miss Jacob Miller. I really miss Jacob Miller. You know, those were some very good experiences with Jake back in the 70s doing this. And we created something that none of us knew that would last as long as it has. Growing up, you know, playing music was not the sought after job. You know what I mean? You go to school, your parents tell you, you say you want to be a musician, your parents say, what? You know, that was the last thing. My personal dream was to be an engineer. Like some of the other honorees here, I'm interested in physics, mathematics. That was my goal. But I got into music very early, and I've been fortunate to play with some of the very big names in Jamaican music and American music also.
He's talking about Rolling Stones.
Now, the Lewis brothers started this in high school. As we say, it was a fun thing. Nobody expected it to go as long as it has. Out of that early formation, you got 2 excellent groups. In 1973, few of the members broke off and formed Third World. So Inner Circle was the mother group that gave birth to Third World.
And just 2 weeks ago, in celebration of our 50th year, everybody came back to our studio in Miami, and we had massive party.
Most of the past members,
yeah,
everybody actually showed up. It was some people here were there for that.
This summer, we branched off in Europe doing our 50-year tour.
Which continues into next year.
It's still in the continuation, but for Europe, it was 28 countries in 3 months, 31 festivals, 47 shows in all. We're a little tired.
We missed one. We missed one.
Yeah, we missed one.
And it wasn't our fault.
Now, the airport in Munich shut down. 17,000 people missed their flight. So Portugal, we owe them a festival. Over the years, is one thing that, and throughout the whole tour, is one thing that remained in our mind. Who got us here for the 50 years? You did. So, thank you. When we were told about this award, yeah, awesome, Caribbean, nice. But since we've been here, I tell you, we're humbled and honored to be in the presence of your fellow nominees. And Dr. Claire said earlier, the Caribbean is full of geniuses. It's just that they don't get the opportunity to shine. And personally, I wish we could do something about that, and maybe we can help out sometime in the future. But congratulations, ICS, big up.
We would definitely like to join you on that spaceship that you're talking about going around.
Are you going to play?
No.
Aren't you going to play for us? Aren't you going to?
Number 2 of us here.
Unfortunately, due to some prior commitment, the Lewis brothers couldn't be here. If not, there would be 4 of us here, but that's the way it is. And two of us could probably work with the group. I wanted to play with them a while ago. Incidentally, they played two of the biggest songs in the history of reggae music. I don't want to say that just because it's us who did them originally, but Sweat has been globally #1, and the only place it did not go #1 was here in the U.S. It peaked at #8 in the charts here. But this is the only country it never went #1. It still holds the record for the longest #1 record in Germany to this day, since 1993. Bad Boys is the longest continuous running song on U.S. television ever.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. On behalf of all music lovers all over the world, thank you so much for entertaining us and inspiring us for all these years, and may you have 50 more. Congratulations. I would like to ask all of you, if you don't mind, please stand up and give all these honorees a standing ovation. Delighted that you've been with us for the 25th anniversary of the Heritage Awards. I am very happy to have been here, and I think we're going to have some more music, so if you feel like dancing, please join us on the dance floor. Have a great evening. We hope to see you next year.
Girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. Hey, standing across the room, I saw you smile. Said I wanna talk to you, boo boo, for a little while. But before I made my move, my emotions start running wild. My tongue gets tied, and that's no lie. I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Ooh, baby, I got this to say to you. Hey, girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. A la 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 la, a la 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 long, 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 long. Sing, sing. La 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 la, la 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 la. Make your ear yo.
Thank you for joining us today for the 25th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards Gala. For Maureen Bunyan, I am Ian Edwards. See you next year.